Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and May is Mural Month. Welcome to the best time of the year. All month long, you'll hear from master muralists to learn the tips to creating a thriving business painting large scale. I have handpicked each interviewee based on their expansive knowledge of the mural industry so that you can learn from the absolute best. Plus, I'm throwing in some solo episodes all about how to make money with murals. And if that isn't enough, I have created a full training for you all about how to grow your art business quickly using murals like I have. If you're listening this month and thinking, okay, let me see what this mural thing is all about. Or if you're wondering if you are able to create murals too, then go to artistacademy.co. That's artistacademy.co, not com. That was taken. .com was taken. Anyway, to learn how you can start making money in the mural biz. The majority of my income comes from murals, and I want to help you get started too because I know how profitable they can be. So go to artistacademy.co to claim your free training for the month of May. Woo! Welcome to Mural Month. Hey there! So today's training is about a subject that is near and dear to my heart. We're going to be talking about painting logos, and I'm going to take you all the way back and just tell a couple quick stories about how I got my start as an artist, which was painting logos. And then we're going to go into pricing, how much money you can make by painting these logos. And I just want to say it out front, I don't create the logo. That's not my specialty. To me, that's the work of somebody who knows computer illustration, all of that. That's not my area of expertise. I am really good with a paintbrush in hand, whether big or small, mural brush, canvas brush, whatever. I know that I am best with a paintbrush in my hand and not very good on maybe designing. Although we're going to go through how to make a mock-up really quickly, really simply. Like I mentioned, I'm not big on computers. I would rather have a paintbrush in my hand. So we're going to go through all of the things of how to mock up a logo quickly on a wall and paint it. This week is going to be all about logos and I'm so excited. And with logos comes lettering, because when you get asked to paint a logo, often they have a slogan or they have just a lot of written things that need to be done, whether underneath the logo or in addition. A lot of people have, a lot of things for lettering. And typically there's a lot of lettering inside of a logo, and just knowing how to work a letter, how to paint a letter, how to do that perfect straight line with or without tape. All of that, it goes into the whole logo process. So I'm so excited for the next 2 weeks. So this month, it's a long month and it fits on weirdly on the schedule. So usually we have 3 trainings per month, and then the last week, so 3 trainings in the first 3 weeks, and then the last week is typically like our catch-up week, and we don't really do a whole lot, and it just gives a chance for everybody to catch up on everything we've learned. However, since this is a long month, I thought, what the heck? Why don't we just throw in another week? So we're going to have 4 trainings this month and then still a catch-up week in the end, and then we'll start next month. So the next 2 weeks are going to be all about logos, how to paint letters, how to make that perfect straight line, and how to get logo jobs. Here we go. Let's get to it. I'm going to start with what a logo is. And not that this needs to be described to literally everybody, because some of you get it already. Some of you realize that a logo is the representation of a business. It's often one of the first things that people design or hire out to be designed when they decide to start a business. It's the first thing. It is a picture, in a sense, of what the business is. And in a sense, a lot of businesses love their logo and they want it painted literally everywhere. They want it on the walls, they want it on their packaging, they want it on the outside of the building, they want it on the inside of the building, they want it on the door right where you walk in. People love their logo, and often it's the first thing you see when you go to someone's website. It's a visual representation of that brand. Oftentimes they're pretty simple. Almost all the time there's some kind of lettering, unless you are big time like Nike or Apple, unless you're one of those. But more often than not, there's some kind of lettering involved, which is why we're going to put a heavy emphasis on lettering this week. And I'm so excited because lettering is how I got my start. Okay, let's go back and I'm going to explain to you why you should be doing logos. Why should you be doing this? Why should you care? Logos aren't typically the creative. If you take a joy in creating things and being like the brains of it and just like creating something from start to finish and expressing your creativity within that, then this might not be the best thing for you. So if you know that about yourself and you take more pride in designing than painting, then logos, you can probably just be like, that's okay, Andrea. Like, I will tune in next week and we'll get your next art lesson. But if you are someone who likes to make money with a paintbrush and aren't all that picky about how you do it, and so in the beginning I would say this is a really quick way to make a buck with your paintbrush and to make a living as an artist. It's how I got my start, like I mentioned several times, this creativity, the whole thing. I really like it because I don't have to think. When someone messages me, when a business messages me and they say, hey, I'd really like my logo painted on this wall. Typically they want it painted pretty big, so I'm excited first off to paint large scale. The bigger the better is what I tell them. We can make it as big as you want to make it. We can cover the whole wall, whatever you want. But secondly, they provide the design for me. And that's another bit of work that I don't have to do. Those are brain calories that I don't have to spend. They just send it to me. Oftentimes they'll send me like a PNG file or whatnot. But a lot of the times too, they'll just send like a white background image of their logo. And I'll take that and I'll upload it into Procreate. And I'll have them also send me a photo of their wall. I said, hey, where would you like this painted? And that just keeps me from taking a trip down to the business. Sometimes they're 20, 30 minutes away. That just saves for an extra hour. So I say, hey, if you could send me your logo and also send me a picture of the wall that you're like it painted on, I will mock this up for you and get pre-approval before we start painting. And so they'll send me a photo of the wall, they'll send me the logo, and I'll mock it up for them on Procreate, or I've used Ribbit.com, super simple editor, whatever editor you have. That way they can see it visually on the wall and say, no, let's make it smaller, no, let's make it bigger. Another way to do this is I will sometimes go to the business and I'll have them meet me there when I'm about to start painting. So I really am not into this whole go meet at the business, get feedback, all that. I think a phone call and an email can do everything. But if I wanted to meet them there and they want to be there for this process, which a lot of business owners do, they want to be there when you're making these big changes to any part of their building. And I'll break out my projector. Again, so it's just a logo. They're sending me their logo. And so I'll plug that into my projector and I'll put it on the wall and I'll say, do you want it bigger? Do you want it smaller? This is what I recommend, because a lot of people are like, you're the artist, whatever you think looks good. And so I'll place it exactly where I would want it. And then I'll say, do you want it bigger? Do you want it moved? Is anything going on this wall? Are you putting chairs up here? Are people going to stand? Are you wanting people to take photos with this? Is this where you're envisioning this? And with the projector right there, they can, again, visually see it on the wall. And if you guys have any questions throughout this whole thing, as I'm going, if something isn't, explained, just let me know. Let's see. Okay. On the wall, put it on the wall. And so yeah, then I'll just paint it. But okay, actually, so thinking about the process and how it goes. Hi guys, hi Gareth, hi Sarah. Okay, so thinking about the process and how it goes. So normally they will send me a photo of their wall and then a photo of the logo, and I'll get it mocked up, and then I'll send them a price. And that price for a logo typically starts at $400 to $500. And it's not uncommon to make it go up to $1,000 is pretty standard, really. $1,500, $2,000. It just depends on the complexity of the logo and how big they want it. For instance, this whole thing's prompted because I recently posted a photo of the 2 logos that I did this past weekend, and there were I charged $1,000 each for them, and I did them in 2 days. And so essentially I made $1,000 in a day, 2 days in a row, to paint logos, and they were super happy. They're already calling me back to do things. They're actually on my schedule to do more logos in 2 months because they were just ecstatic. They are happy. This business was happy to pay $2,000 for 2 logos. And again, I didn't really have to do much. I mocked it up really quick, said this is what I'm going to do, this is how big it is, and I came and showed up. I'd say each logo took me about 8 hours to paint. And so with supplies and everything, you're making about $100 an hour. And it's just easy money because I can just show up, I can plug my headphones in, I can listen to audiobooks, and it doesn't require a whole lot of thinking. There's no pre-approval process, there's none of that, nothing. I love logos. Okay, let's see. I'm just checking my notes here to make sure. Okay. So before we get into this whole how to get logo jobs, I just want to take you back really quickly, and we're going to go back to how I got started because I think that you can easily follow in my footsteps in a lot of ways here. Because in the beginning, I realized this whole every business loves their logo and they want it painted everywhere. And in the beginning, I just stumbled into it. Somebody asked me to paint a logo on their barn, actually. Which is funny because I just painted a logo inside a barn restaurant this past weekend. I'm from the Midwest. It's a thing. Barns are just a thing here. Anyway, so one of my first logos was somebody asked me to paint it on a barn, and I think I charged $300 maybe, and they were like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. They paid me in cash. It was great. I posted that photo of that logo, and then I got another job immediately, and this guy wanted me to paint this, I want to say 15 foot by 15 foot logo, and I was like, okay, well, here we go. And so I borrowed a friend's projector. This was when technology and projectors was very new. And I borrowed a friend's projector and I shot it up there and I traced it out with paint. I didn't know about chalk yet. So whenever you project it out, always outline it in chalk. And then I painted it, and it was big and beautiful and giant. And although I still have photos of that, and every time I look back on it, I cringe because even though I had a projector, with it being as big as it was hard to tell like where the lines were and whatnot with it up there, and the lettering just isn't on point. Which is why I really want to go over lettering and just go over the basics with you here this week and next week, because it can really just bump up your paintings and your logo jobs from good to excellent. Understanding how a letter is laid out and how the components of it and the spacing and everything, even though you're projecting, still understanding a letter and how to paint it properly. There's so many little tricks that if somebody, like say, if I look at a logo that's been painted or at lettering that's been painted, there are certain things that I see that the general public doesn't see, or maybe beginners artists don't see, and I want to show you those here in the next couple weeks and really show you how to take your lettering skills from basic or maybe intermediate to amazing. That way you are impressing people and you're impressing even the artists that look at it. Okay, anyway, so that first logo that I did, it was huge, and I look back at those photos and I'm like, could have done better. Nowadays, it could have done better. So just this is whole learning from my mistakes thing. This is why you're here in the group, to learn from my mistakes. And after I did that one, I got hired for another logo project. I was like, man, these people love their logos. And then that's how I got the job with Bass Pro Shops. I got hired on to paint logos, and it just transformed from there. I have painted power sports companies' logos, janitorial companies' logos, oh gosh, pet places, just all kinds of logos. And every single time I get a call for them, I literally, like, in my head, I take this little money ball and I just pat it all together and I dribble it and I swish it through the hoop, and I'm like, this is easy money. Like, anytime I get an email or a DM or anything, hey, I have a logo, can you paint it? I'm like, swish, yes I can. Because businesses know the cost of doing business, and they will gladly pay money for somebody who can do a really good job on their logo, which is why, again, I want to just go over technique in the next couple weeks, because people will pay for high quality, and there's just certain tricks that I can show you that's just so easy with spacing and with just the straight corners and straight lines, and just, yeah, we're going to go over it all, and the tricks to make it go faster and all of that. So anyway, yeah, so I painted for all of these different logo companies, and you would think that when you paint a logo for someone in their business and it's up and it's good, then okay, you're good. No. Oftentimes that company or any company will sponsor certain things, and I've painted a lot of logos that will eventually be changed because sponsors will change. Okay, explaining this a bit further. People, so say, okay, there's a racetrack that every year they have different sponsors, and they sponsor the racetracks, and they're seen on TV around when the cars go around and all of that. Every year those logos change. So every year they need it painted out. And every year I raise my hand and I'm like, I can do that for you. And so it's continuous work sometimes in that way. I've painted logos at baseball fields because, okay, that janitorial company that I mentioned, they sponsored the bathrooms. And so anytime anybody goes in the bathroom, the sports utility place, they were like, hey, yeah, you can put your logo anywhere. So they wanted it big inside the bathrooms. Again, not the most creative, not the most glamorous thing, but they pay really well. And so if you're wanting to make money, if you're wanting to pay the bills, even just taking one logo project a week could pay your bills for the week. I made $1,000 in one day. Just take one of those to do one project a week, and then do the rest. Creative. Be as creative as you want the other 6 days a week, because you're in a really good spot by having that $1,000 a week. So $1,000 a week, getting one logo job per week is $50,000 for the year. So this is why it's a really great way to make money with a paintbrush, and I love doing it. It's not just about the money part of it. Anyway, okay. Moving on, let me check my notes again. Let's see. Okay, let's go into pricing. So before we go into how to get the job, let's talk about how to price it. Typically, I do it by time. And like I mentioned, 400, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, all of those great numbers. That's typically the range. Again, we're not designing the logo. We're just painting it. Think about how much time it's going to take you to do it, and then add a couple hours, and that's the price. That's okay. For me, for instance, I just bid this project. They saw my work at this one building where I painted a bunch of distress logos. So they saw that I had done a lot of logos there. So once you get started in this, the word spreads. If you paint for one business, word spreads to other businesses. And this is exactly how I got this recent job. So just today, like literally today, I sent in a bid for a project for $1,000 for this logo that was going to take me a day, and they wanted it distressed. And it's about 7 foot by 9 foot, one color, white only, and it's distressed, meaning if I mess up, it doesn't matter because it's meant to look old anyway. Okay, actually, I will video me doing that, and then I will put it here in the group so you guys can see exactly how to do a distress logo. And I'm telling you, distress logos are way better than actual logos because you don't need to make the lines as straight, and it's so much easier. You use a roller and just roll it on and then sand it off afterwards. It's so easy. Okay, we're going to have a whole tutorial on how to do a distress logo. People love it, and people think that you're working magic because they're like, oh my gosh, that's been there, that looks like it's been on the wall forever. And I'm like, nope, just painted it, threw some dirt on it. Yeah. Anyway, so I just gave a bid for that, and it was a 7 foot by 9 foot logo, one color, like I mentioned, $1,000. It's going to take me a day. That's it. So you decide, you set your own pricing, but me just saying that, okay, yeah, oh good, Christy, I'm so glad. Yeah, actually, Christy, if you want to help me on that one, I would actually love that. It's on a Saturday. If you want to come out and help me, I'll pay you, obviously, and that way you can learn on site, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. We can both do it together, and we can get it done in not very much time. I'm actually doing it on the 23rd, I believe. Anyway, I'll message you after if you want to come out and help me. Okay. So yeah, that's how pricing. You guys figure out how to do pricing on your own in that way, but this is just a very... Okay, good. I'm glad you want to help. Okay, good. I'm so excited. So yeah, this is just a very real raw. This is what I'm charging for it. And if you have questions, if you end up getting a logo job and you're like, I don't know what to charge for it, message me and I will give you what I would charge for it, and then you can take that or leave it or advance it or whatever. And for anybody watching who's not currently in the Midwest, Christy is in the Midwest. She lives in my town, which is why I was like, hey, come help me. But for anybody not living in the Midwest, it might be a bit more if you live on the East Coast, West Coast, or whatnot, but living in the Midwest, I'm still charging $1,000 for a logo, and I'm doing it in a day, and that's a good price. But if you live in California, like I know Amanda on here, and she lives in California, Maria, a bunch of you guys are in California, maybe up the price a bit. Maybe up it by double, I would say. I think in California, I would probably up my price to double. But message me, and I'll help you through it. Okay, let me see. Okay. So how to get logo jobs. Just to go over this really briefly, we actually have a section in the Mural Master, the full tutorial in there, that's like a bonus section at the bottom of the Mural Master program where I go over logos. So I show you how to do an exterior logo. So there's a lot of information already in here. We're just going to add to it this couple weeks and really refine the skills on lettering and all of that. But if you go in the Mural Master, there's a little section on logos, and I'm just going to go over it a bit right here on how to get logo jobs. The first step for getting logo jobs is to paint a logo on your own. Just like I mentioned in the Mural Master, in the mural part, the first step is to paint a mural in your home. Paint a mural, show people what you can do. Same with logos. Maybe your husband or your brother or whatever, maybe they want something painted in their garage. Maybe there's a sports team that they love so much and they would love that painted in their man cave or whatever. That's just an example. Figure that out, maybe ask around a little bit, and paint your first logo. Project it up on there, do the lines really well, like I'm going to show you how to do the lines here in the next couple weeks. And yeah, just paint your own logo. Paint something in your home, paint something in a friend's home, doing that. And then once you've done that, post the before, post the middle, post the when you're almost done, post the time lapse, do a live video while you're doing it, everything. Show people that you are doing a logo, and word will spread. That's my first tip, really, for doing a logo and just getting this started. If you've decided that, all right, you've talked me into this, I would love to paint one logo a week for $1,000, and then that's that. Or if you want to, like, yeah, I want to do this and I want to make $1,000 every day doing logos, yeah, jump into it. But if I've convinced you, and I hope I have, this is the bread and butter of my business. And just to insert one that one of the biggest jobs that I got last year was for 15 grand. Painting 15 different logos for one company. And I sent them the 15, grand bid. They didn't balk at it. They were like, okay. And I ended up figuring out a way to do it really quickly. So after I did one, it was all the same color, it was all distressed, and I did one, and then I did two, and then it got really quickly, so I made more than $1,000 in a day doing this one building last year. I'm telling you, logos are where it's at. Okay, anyway, so after you've done a logo in your own home or for a friend or whatnot, and you've just documented the crap out of it, you've done everything, and you've done video, photos, all the stuff, we're going to post it, and then you're going to then use that photo as promotion and post it somewhere and just say, actually, like Christy is doing this week. This is a perfect example. I just saw Christy's example today of how she was doing 20% off for March mural months. Yeah, something like I'm botching what the exact wording was, but she was like, hey guys, I'm doing a special for murals this month. Christy, I'm actually curious, have you gotten anything from that yet? I think you will, but have you gotten any messages from that yet? So Christy did a 20% off for mural month this March, and okay, here we go. Oh, Brianna. Okay, hold on, let me read. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. So Christy's doing 20% off for Mural Month, and so she posted a bunch of different murals. There are a couple logos in there, and she's like, hey guys, 20% off this month only. Book now, and you will, and let's see. Okay, perfect! March Mural Madness. Love it. Oh my gosh, love it. And yes, you booked 3 so far. Oh my gosh, you go girl. That is so amazing. So this is actually like real-time proof that this stuff works. So you guys know, obviously this isn't a brand new idea, but this is just the push that you need to do it. Christy's doing it. She did March Mural Madness, 20% off for murals this month, and she's had 3 people book. She posted that today. She posted that today and has 3 so far. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Anyway, that's what you do for logos. That's exactly what you do. Post the logo that you have painted. So since you've already painted one, since we're already doing this, fast forward to after you've painted it, post it and say, hey guys, I'm doing a deal. 50% off my first one. So if you're in the beginning, I highly recommend a high discount rate. Christy is a bit more advanced. She's been doing this for a couple of years, and yeah, I remember when she first joined, she was like dabbling in it and doing cups, and now she's full time. And like, so Christy's been doing it for a while. She's been in the academy for a while. She does 20% off, which I think is totally great for a muralist where she's at. In the beginning, I would say if you want to do it and you really want to get logos going, 50% off. Or say you're doing, I don't know, something like that. Make it up. We can brainstorm here in the group if you want to on like ways you can go about it and how to promote that. But give people a deal. Give people a deal, because what you're doing with that, even though you're giving them a really good deal, you're building your logo resume. So you're going to have all of these logos that you can then put on your website. I actually have a special place on my website. I have murals, prints, and logos. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I do. I have murals, prints, and logos, a special area for logos, because I want to be hired for logos, and I want to be hired for murals, and I want people to buy my prints. Those are my big 3, okay? Logos are bread and butter. So I have a special place on my website for logos. It's not just look at a gallery of everything I do. It's I do logos, hire me to do logos, and these are all the ones that I've done so far. And that's what I want for you. That's what I would love. If you really want to take this seriously and get into this, you need a special spot on your website that says, I am a logo artist. I specialize in this. This is what I do, and this is what I want to be hired for. And I know a couple muralists that if they do a couple logos, they don't necessarily want to be hired for logos. They want murals. So they just mix logos in, and if they get hired for a mural, that's cool. But I want to be hired for murals. I really love doing murals. So I have a special spot on my website, and that's what I want for you. That's how we're going to get the ball rolling with this. So we're going to do trainings on lettering. We're going to do trainings on straight lines and getting that perfect straight line, which really just comes with a lot of practice and a couple techniques besides using tape and all of that. And we're going to create a bunch of logos. That's my goal for you guys for the next couple weeks or the next couple months. And we're going to get this started. We're going to make money doing logos and get you guys taking that little ball of money and then swishing it through the hoop. And that's what we're doing. Okay, let's get this mural logo month couple weeks started. The last 2 weeks of this month are going to be all about logos and lettering and straight lines and all of that, and I'm so excited. So if you guys have any questions, and just let me know. Okay, that's how you get mural jobs. Let's see. Okay, so over the next couple weeks, I'm going to be just dropping in tutorials, mostly as I do them. So I'll try to give you a heads up and maybe go live as I'm doing a couple of them, but I'm just going to be dropping in tutorials as we are going, because right now is a crazy time. We're currently buying a house. Oh my God, we're currently buying a house. As of today, we're currently buying a house, and I'm freaking out, and that's where my spare time is going. So in between that and in between doing murals, I'm going to be dropping in tutorials as I can, and it's so exciting. We're going to be making some money. Okay, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'm so excited for lettering. Okay, all right, talk to you guys later. Thanks. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye. And just one more quick reminder that since May is Mural Month, I have created an extra special training for you to learn how to grow your own art business quickly using murals like I have. If you're listening this month and thinking, okay, let me see what this mural thing is all about, then go to artistacademy.co to learn how you can start making money in the mural biz. The majority of my income comes from murals, and I want to help you get started too because I know how profitable they can be. So go to artistacademy.co to claim your free training this month, and I really hope that you are enjoying May Mural Month. I will see you next week.